Although explosive drama is nothing new in the love and hip-hop universe, the most recent revelation that has rocked the reality TV industry has left fans utterly stunned. For years, Yandy Smith and Mendeecees Harris song were considered as the ultimate model of loyalty, survival, and ride-or-die love. They fought through federal prison sentences, fierce family feuds, and relentless public scrutiny, always emerging hand in hand. But the fairy tale has officially crumbled. Rumors of a terrible breakup between the power couple have been circulating for months, but the narrative just took a sinister and surprising turn. Insiders are murmuring that this song isn't merely a case of two individuals growing apart after a decade of marriage. No, the streets are chatting, and the websites are vibrating with a much more scandalous theory: a hidden new romance. Is Yandy Smith harboring a new man in the shadows? Did a wealthy, important unknown figure sweep the love and hip-hop star off her feet, prompting her to finally cut connections with Mendeecees for good? The indicators have been hidden in plain sight, from lonely social media captions to a sudden, severe shift in Yandy's inner group. Mendeecees' latest cryptic and furious outbursts online only add fuel to the burning fire, signaling a betrayal that hurts deeper than anybody could have predicted. We are diving headfirst into the chaotic aftermath of reality TV's most shocking breakup. We'll uncover the hidden evidence, track down the name of the purported new lover, and deconstruct how a relationship built on a concrete foundation disintegrated into dust practically overnight. Buckle up, because the receipts we've acquired are about to change everything you thought you knew about Yandy and Mendeecees. Let's dive into the messy reality. We need to take a careful look at the precarious foundation Yandy Smith and Mendeecees Harris have been standing on lately in order to comprehend how a covert romance might potentially destroy this legendary reality television marriage. The public believed for a long time that their relationship was totally unbreakable. Yandy steadfastly stuck by Mendeecees' side when he faced a long federal jail sentence, immediately following his extravagant, widely reported 2015 wedding. She oversaw his business operations, reared their kids, maintained their brand, and wore her allegiance as a badge of honor. However, the reality of reintegration turned out to be far more chaotic than the dream of Mendeecees' return when he eventually left those prison doors in early 2020. During his absence, the dynamic had completely changed. Yandy had evolved beyond the helpful companion who waited at home. She had developed into a powerful presence on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, a fiercely independent entrepreneur, and a political activist. In contrast, Mendeecees found it difficult to survive in a world that had moved on without him. Almost immediately, the subtle anxieties started to seep into our TV screens. We saw disagreements about where to live, how to raise the children, and how much time Yandy was spending on her work as opposed to her customary responsibilities as a wife. Mendeecees often complained about Yandy's rigorous work ethic, implying that he felt ignored, which led to an ideological conflict that only grew worse with time. The public facade started to seriously deteriorate as the months passed. Fans who follow celebrities on social media began to notice a conspicuous absence of reciprocal presence. Suddenly, showed Yandy walking alone on the red carpets where they used to rule together, looking stunning but alone. Birthday postings lost the sincere warmth of earlier years and became forced and sterile. The whole digital erasure followed. Photos of couples started to vanish from their own Instagram grids. The internet noticed the stillness right away because, in the context of contemporary celebrity culture, archiving your lover is the same as filing a public notice of separation. Sources close to the Love and Hip Hop production crew claimed that the environment between them while filming had turned poisonous behind closed doors. They were no longer functioning as a cohesive group. Rather, although having the same zip code, they were leading different lives. The germs of a new romance found one fruitful ground in this emotional distance. The vulnerability increases dramatically when a woman who has put her all into a relationship for 10 years suddenly feels underappreciated, alone, and continuously criticized by a spouse who seeks obedience rather than partnership. During this time of seclusion, Yandy's social circle also started to shift. He began to spend more time in affluent circles and went to private, exclusive events in New York, Atlanta, and Miami. These weren't your typical industry gatherings. These were get-togethers of wealthy people, tech entrepreneurs, and influential executives outside of the usual hip-hop scene. The rumors about Yandy attracting someone new's attention first surfaced in these exclusive spaces. Yandy's business endeavors reportedly attracted the attention of a well-known Atlanta real estate developer and media investor who offered resources and cash that Mendeecees were unable to supply. This professional alignment soon became personal, giving Yandy a sophisticated diversion from the pointless fights that awaited her at home. In the meantime, Mendeecees was aware of the changing tides in his home through. According to reports, he started observing a shift in Yandy's attitude. Her justifications for late-night business meetings started to wear thin, her travel schedule got more unpredictable, and she became more possessive of her phone. Online passive-aggressive behavior was the result of the animosity. Mendeecees started sharing mysterious remarks about loyalty, phony individuals, and the anguish of discovering someone isn't who they say they are on his Instagram stories. These weren't only sporadic thoughts about philosophy. They were clear, sharp arrows, directed directly at Yandy, telling everyone that trust had been utterly betrayed. The pivotal moment occurred when they allegedly got into a heated disagreement at their Atlanta home. A fight so fierce that neighbors whispered that security had been called to break it up. Household duties and reality TV plots weren't the main points of contention. It was a straight confrontation over another man's rumors. Mendeecees wanted answers from, and Yandy allegedly refused to allay his fears because she was weary of defending her independence and worn out from the ongoing surveillance. Their cohabitation came to an end with this dramatic encounter, which also laid the stage for a stunning, public rupture that would alter everything. The rumors became more than just conjecture when the physical separation became official. Yandy started collecting her belongings, letting her loved ones know that she was no longer prepared to give up her tranquility for a story of allegiance that seemed more and more biased. While Yandy continued to fully embrace her new way of life, Mendeecees stayed in the house, brooding and allowing his rage to fester. Her public appearances started to reflect a lady who had finally let go of the burden of a heavy past, and she was no longer concealing her yearning for a new beginning. Insiders claimed that Yandy had already checked into an opulent high-rise apartment in the city, fully funded by her own business, accounts, and the Whisper networks in Atlanta were now working overtime. In order to foster her new life free from the criticism and limitations of her marriage, she was establishing a safe haven. This was not merely a short-term respite to cool off. It was a deliberate, long-term move toward complete liberation. Fans were left wondering who exactly gave her the strength to eventually walk away as the stage was set for the mystery of her new life to take center stage due to the strained emotional and legal ties at port. The public's attention quickly turned to the name of the person who was purportedly responsible for this significant breakup, as the marriage was essentially in ruins and the physical separation was finalized. Yandy's travels were tracked over a precise 6-month period, and industry insiders and internet detectives started assembling a complicated jigsaw. When Yandy was seen seated in a small VIP booth with a well-known, extraordinarily wealthy businessman who has strong connections to the corporate entertainment and luxury lifestyle industries in a low-key, private lounge in Buckhead, Atlanta, the rumors grew more intense. Their body language was not at all professional, according to witnesses. There was a degree of ease, strong eye contact, and delicate physical contact that suggested a long-standing familiarity rather than a recent professional acquaintance. To Mendeecees is the complete antithesis of this unknown man, whom industry websites have lovingly called the shadow man to safeguard his ongoing business relationships. This new figure is completely corporate, polished, universally regarded in high-level boardrooms, and capable of taking Yandy's brand to new heights. In contrast, Mendeecees is rough around the edges with a past linked to the streets and the court system. According to insiders, he has been discreetly advising Yandy on her most recent endeavors in the beauty and lifestyle industries, contributing substantial funds to her endeavors without ever seeking attention. This combination of emotional affirmation and financial empowerment turned out to be a seductive substitute for the ongoing conflict and financial hardship Yandy encountered at home. Soon after, the digital receipts appeared, offering indisputable support for the internet's vigilant eyes. Yandy shared a number of stunning pictures of herself enjoying a private yacht expedition during what appeared to be a laid-back weekend trip to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. The anonymous businessman shared a picture from the same yacht, with the same coastline and opulent catering, set up on his private Instagram account at precisely the same hour. His plot ran the risk of becoming outdated without her, which exacerbated his emotional grief with financial anxiety. Now that was no longer merely a private retreat, the stage was set for a full-scale media war. It was a ticking time bomb that was ready to blow apart the entire framework of their public personas. The ecosystem of love and hip-hop Atlanta has been totally upended by the fallout from this purported covert romance and the subsequent breakdown of the Harris marriage. Behind the scenes, production execs are working feverishly, knowing full well that they are sitting on the most combustible reality TV plot of the decade. Emergency production meetings have been convened behind closed doors to discuss how to handle this real-life drama in the next episodes. Yandy has reportedly drawn a firm line in the sand, threatening to leave the franchise completely if the network tries to take advantage of her personal life or portray her as an adulteress on national television. Yandy is passionately protective of her brand and her children. Mendeecees, on the other hand, is purportedly responding to the situation in the opposite way, motivated by an explosive mixture of heartbreak, rage, and the need to keep his television contract. According to reports, he is prepared to expose everything for the cameras. According to sources, he is actively promoting for a plot that reveals the betrayal, wanting everyone to witness the emotional suffering he has gone through since the breakup. The star pair and Manami Entertainment production are in a major impasse as a result of this dispute. A face-to-face encounter between Mendeecees and the unidentified businessman is desperately needed by the network. However, Yandy's PR and legal departments are putting forth extra effort to make sure that never occurs. They are carefully controlling her public persona, directing attention away from the adultery story and toward her charitable endeavors and global corporate growth. Perhaps the most painful aspect of this developing story is how it affects their blended family. The breakup has resulted in a complex custody and co-parenting arrangement that is anything but easy, with several children caught in the crossfire. Growing up witnessing their parents put on a unified front against the world, the children are now navigating separate residences and the difficult dynamic between their parents. According to family friends, Yandy is making every effort to protect the kids from harmful internet rumors but it's almost impossible to keep teenagers away from blog headlines and social media comments in the digital age. Strict routines and communication handled solely by outside assistants have taken the place of the family meals and shared holidays that formerly characterized their home. The crucial question that still has to be answered is if Yandy will ever make this covert affair public. She will probably wait until the divorce process is complete, and the immediate shock of the breakup has subsided from the public's mind, according to PR experts. If she introduces a new partner too soon, it could harm her reputation and make her appear calculated rather than justified in her decision to depart. She is currently playing the long game, keeping a respectful quiet about her personal life while occasionally sharing inspiring messages on her platforms about self-love, limits, and reinvention. Regardless of who is standing next to her in the dark, she wants the world to know that she is thriving. Meanwhile, Mendeecees must go on a protracted journey of self-reinvention. Divorced from the lady who shaped his public persona for more than a decade, he now has to forge a career that is wholly his own. Without Yandy by his side to soften his image, his street credibility and reality TV fame would appear completely different. Fans are sharply split. Some condemn Yandy for leaving her spouse after he completed his federal sentence, while others celebrate her for realizing her value in leaving extremely taxing circumstances. This significant separation guarantees that when love